Hello and welcome to LDEI Live Online. I am your host, LDEI board member and Live Online director, Sheila Cry. Today we will introduce another category of online experiences and begin an exploration of international cuisines. First up will be a culinary demonstration of a Senegalese meal featuring the national dish called Thieboudienne, which is an incredible party dish similar to paella, and a refreshing hibiscus drink called Bissap, and a traditional dessert called Ngalakh, which we will do as a parfait, layering millet couscous with a sweet and tart peanut baobab sauce. Our cooking teacher is a brand new member of the DC regional chapter of Les Dames d'Escoffier, Marianne Tshihamba. Marianne was born in Congo. Her family immigrated to the United States when she was 4 years old, and she traces her love of international cuisines to her years growing up in Washington, D.C. Marianne's first career was in event planning, a job that took her around the world. After finishing each conference, she would explore the cuisine of the country by visiting restaurants and then replicating dishes she enjoyed in her own kitchen after returning home. Eventually, she felt the calling to share what she had learned about world cuisines as a culinary instructor. Nowadays, you can find Marianne teaching at the Hill Center in downtown Washington, D.C. And you can find out more about her on gastrosoul.com. Without further ado, please welcome Dame Marianne Tshihamba.
Thank you so much, Sheila, for that wonderful introduction. And I'm excited to share this dish with with my fellow dames and other people tuning in from the Zoom link. So let me just start by saying that we are so lucky to and honored to be able to have filmed this episode in the home of the Congolese ambassadors, the Congolese ambassador to the United States residents. She is a great friend and a great supporter of women and an empowering women. So she was excited and honored to let us use her kitchen.
Marianne, let's say a word about our techniques
Yes.
so that our viewers know what to expect.
Okay, right. So we pre-recorded this session at the ambassador's residence, and we're going to be separating this in 3 different sections. And each section will be followed by a question and answer session. And of course, we've edited the session so that we can fit all of this into a 1 hour session.
Thank you. To begin with, are there any questions for Marianne about Senegalese cuisine, about the recipes that we're going to do today? Any questions? I can't see everybody now, so just raise your virtual hand if you have a question. And if not, let's, Stephanie, can you take us to the first segment on Thieboudienne?
All right, so let's start cooking. All right, let's look at the first step is actually making a stuffing for the fish. So I've got parsley, some onions. You can use just a regular white onion, or you can use spring onions. And I have salt and pepper. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all of this into a food processor and blend. including the stems. Okay. And some people add a little bell pepper, and here's my onions again, and salt and pepper. Some people add some hot peppers, but I'm not going to do that because I prefer cooking mild and then adding peppers at the end. Just going to completely pulverize this. Perfect. So here I've got kingfish here, but you can use any fish that is, just really that's really firm, because you want it to be able to stand up to. We're going to be frying it. You don't want it to fall apart. Like a cod is kind of a little tender and it'll fall apart. But I like using something that's firm. So we're going to make some small slits into the flesh of each fish steak, and just kind of open it up a little bit and just grab a handful of the stuffing and just put it inside each of the slits. There we go.
This is a great idea.
Yeah, it adds more flavor. One of the things about this dish is it's about adding layers and layers and layers of flavor, and starting with the fish.
Is kingfish an oily fish?
Yes.
So kind of like mackerel? Or...
Yes, and so full of those great omega-3s. So, yeah, and this is a very, very, very healthy dish as well. And one of the backgrounds of stories about Thieboudienne is that so it was invented, I believe, in the 19th century, and so they were trying to come up with a dish that hit all of the nutritional buttons. Okay, so it has basically it's a complete dish. It has every vitamin, mineral, nutrient that you can imagine. So you could literally live on Thieboudienne. One more. Okay.
So
go ahead.
Could you use something like swordfish? Would that
Yes.
be firm enough?
Yes, absolutely. But then not something that is so kind of overpowering, say like salmon. Salmon would be a little too strong, but yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think swordfish would work really well.
If you had some of this mixture left over, what could you do with it?
Oh, we're going to add that to the sauce. Yeah, so that's going to add a little bit more flavor to the sauce. Okay, so now that our fish has been stuffed, we want to add about a cup of oil, vegetable oil of your preference. I like olive oil, but you can use painted oil, you can use vegetable oil, and that's great. So we're going to fry the fish, about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. You don't necessarily want to cook it through. We just want to get a nice little char or caramelization, a crust on the bottom. Yeah, absolutely. So I think I can actually get 3 pieces in here. The worst thing you can do if you're frying any kind of protein is to crowd the pan. And because what will happen is that you get, the liquid starts to seep out and it starts to boil as opposed to fry. Yeah, so you want to get that nice little, you want to get a nice little sear. And the heavier your pot, the better, because it just conducts the heat so much better than say a light aluminum pot. You're going to get uneven burning, uneven heating, and your fish, your protein is just going to stick. So the better quality, the better. So while Shayla's working on the fish, I've got my stock cube. Which I'm going to put, yeah, 2 stock cubes. Shoot. Oh, they seal these up good, don't they? All right. Yep. Got stock cubes. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of the dawa dawa, the dried locust beans, dried and fermented locust beans. I'm just going to okay. And garlic. Excellent. Yeah, we can turn off that heat. Okay. We're going to take this and we're just going to grind it in a mortar and pestle together. Okay, and that's nice and ground. You can do this in the food processor if you'd like, but I really like the texture that comes from the from mortar and pestle. Okay, get a spoon and okay. So now we can turn the heat back on, so medium high, and okay, while that's heating up, let's go ahead and put this in the oven. We're just going to put this in a 200-degree oven so it just stays warm. We don't want it to cook anymore. So, Sheila, if you can grab the onions, please. So I'm going to put in some onions, our mortar and pestle mix. Stir that. You can just saute that real quick.
Do you want it to brown?
Yes. Now you can grind this yet, which is the fermented snail, but you can also just put a piece of it in here and just let it kind of dissolve on its own. I like to do that as well. Okay. All right.
And what does the fermented snail do for the dish?
So, you know, like when you add your, whenever you add some umami, like fish sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, or anchovies, it just adds a really nice depth of flavor and just really enriches the sauce. Okay. And so now I'm going to traditionally you would add tomato paste right now, and then and just really cook it down for almost an hour, okay? Because you want it to get really nice and caramelized, and that's one of the secrets of Thieboudienne, okay? Now, I have a friend who owns Royal Red Stew. She has done that whole process herself, okay? So this has already been cooked down, so you do not have to wait. You don't have to do this for an hour, because sometimes people do it up to like 2 hours. So we want to get all those brown bits up. So maybe, yeah, just really scrape. Ooh, deglaze. Okay, you want to get that? Yeah. Okay. Right. And so I'm adding 3 jars of this tomato sauce. Is it too hot?
No, I'm looking for a pot holder or something like that.
Oh, okay, sure. Oh, let me grab one.
Nice sauce.
Yeah, right? It's like completely done.
Thank you.
Okay. See how much it's been reduced and cooked? You can probably see. All right. Now what I'd like to do, so we're going to actually add about the same amount of water. So what I like to do is kind of almost fill the jar with water, shake it, so you get as much of the goodness out of there. So here we go. Here's one. Here's two. And three. Yeah, so my friend Helen developed this sauce. She is from Ghana, and she worked in all the big food production companies. Yeah, these, and she decided.
Did she work for Kikkoman?
She worked for, I believe, with Kraft.
Oh.
And I'm not sure of the other one. But no, right? Well, do you know a woman who worked for Kikkoman?
Who is named Helen?
Helen, really? It's possible. I will ask her if she worked for Kikkoman. Yeah, she worked in food development. So she, and of course, you know, she grew up making these dishes with tomato sauces and knows that whole process is just very long, labor intensive. Right. And so she developed this herself, and she's in, I think she's in 10 or 15 states around the country. You can order it online. Yeah, it's fantastic. And so we're just going to let this come to a boil before we add our vegetables.
Okay, I think I've gotten all of
the brown
foam,
bit. Yeah.
The foundation.
Yeah.
Brown bits.
Mm-hmm. And just look how rich that sauce is already. You know, it's just so, and that would just take you forever to get it to that. And you see most of that fat has been like absorbed, and you know it's not as yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Excellent. All right. All right. So now it's boiling, and we're going to add the ingredients that take the longest to cook first. So let's start with the sweet potatoes. Oops, splash.
Do they have sweet potatoes in Senegal?
Mm-hmm. And carrots. And cassava root, which is absolutely fantastic.
So you got this fresh.
Yes, yes.
And then I know it has this sort of a bark on it. How do you get the bark off?
So, you know, it's, I would cut it in small pieces, say like, 2-3 inches. And then with a knife, you want to go in and peel it off at an angle. Like, how would I compare it to? Not like peeling an apple, but it's just, the bark is just, it's very, very stubborn. Or what you can do is just stand it on end and just cut it off. That's probably the easiest way to do that. Okay.
Or maybe you could use frozen yucca.
You can use frozen yucca, yes, absolutely. I prefer the texture of fresh yucca.
Oh, really?
Yes, because the frozen yucca, I find it's a little soggy. It's a little bit soggy. I think something happens to it during the freezing process that makes it a little less.
Interesting.
All right. So we've got our hard vegetables, you know, the yuca and the sweet potatoes and the carrots, and those are going to just cook and simmer for about 15, 20 minutes. Okay. So we're going to bring this back up to the boil and just let it simmer. All right. So our sauce is boiling away, and so I'm going to get 2 bay leaves. Now you see these are Indian bay leaves, which I like much better than the Mediterranean ones. I think that they have much more of a depth of flavor. And so we have some of that leftover parsley mix, which we're going to put in. And then now we're going to add the cabbage, because it takes a little less time to cook. Now, I just learned this trick. If you want the cabbage to stay together, you just pierce it with a toothpick, and that way it doesn't fall apart while it's boiling. It stays whole. Okay?
What a good idea.
Yeah, very cool. All right, and that goes back in. Let's just stir it so that get all of that parsley mixture in there. And I'm going to turn this up just a little bit, because I want it to boil a little bit higher. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. Okay. And cover. So Sheila, thank you for taking all of the vegetables out of the sauce. And now we're going to add the other vegetables that cook a lot faster. And the okra and the eggplant, and those will take maybe 10 minutes, and we'll come back and check those, and then we'll put them along with these vegetables in the oven at 200 degrees, and we're just going to keep them warm. So if we can get the oven, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. All right, and that's brought up to a boil again. And let's go ahead and cover that and bring it down to a simmer once again. Okay, excellent. And now we're almost to the end, which means, I got one little errant okra in there, which means we're ready to put in our sauce, our rice, ready to put in the rice that has been rinsed several times.
This broken rice looks like couscous.
Yes, it does. And again, the reason why this dish works so well is because of the broken rice. This broken rice really allows the sauce to absorb into every single grain of rice, as opposed to if the rice were whole, you would have that barrier, that barrier of rice hull, or the shell that would prevent. It would only coat, the sauce would only coat the surface, as opposed to the getting inside the grains. Yeah. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil. And then we're going to bring it down to, once it comes up to the boil, bring it down to a simmer and cover it for about 20 minutes, and then it'll be ready to plate. So here is our finished Thieboudienne dish. So what we did was we have the bottom layer of the rice that has all of that fantastic broth in there. And then we just topped it with the fish and all those lovely vegetables that have also absorbed that flavor of the broth. And then I like to finish it off with slices of lime, because lime and fish and Thieboudienne go perfectly together. So.
I can't wait to eat.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Wow, that was awesome. And now let me see if we can bring Marianne back. Where did Marianne go? I don't see her. Maybe she had to drop off for some reason. So let me just ask you all, what questions do you have about Thieboudienne? And I'm gonna put this on gallery view so I can see, just put your video screen on, unmute yourself and raise your virtual hand and I'll call on you. I can tell you, yes, go ahead, Cindy.
I just want to say I've eaten all kinds of food all over the world, and I don't think I've ever had that. So I'm looking forward to scouting out, hopefully, a restaurant in Minneapolis area, St. Paul area, that might serve that. Or I could probably try to make that.
Yeah, and just FYI, I think Marianne put links to online sources for the fermented locust bean and the fermented sea snail you'd have to get at a African grocery store.
Got a very good one.
Yeah, but further on in the recipes, there's call for other Senegalese ingredients, including baobab powder and the baobab. If any of you ever took French in junior high and had to read Antoine Saint-Exupéry, Little Prince, you remember a illustration of a baobab tree, which looks like sort of an, I don't know, an upside down tree with the roots at the top. But it has a fruit, and the fruit is kind of powdery. And so you can buy the powder, and it's tart. So anyway, Marianne is back. So now let's see if we can spotlight her and
Yes.
Marianne.
So sorry, I had a little problem with my computer. My one of my screens just kind of went dead. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, you're back now.
Yeah. So were there any other questions about the Thieboudienne? Yeah, and so the royal red stew it's really the foundation of this dish is the tomato.
Oh, wait. So technical difficulties. Oh dear. You can find the sauce that Marianne recommends online. And Melissa McClelland says she hadn't received any sourcing information. Now, when you got a reminder this morning with the Zoom link, attached to that were all the recipes. Plus, I added a sort of a resource about hibiscus, that things that I found that were interesting as I was following it down rabbit holes. What is hibiscus, and where can you find it in the world, and and all that sort of thing. So you'll find those. Yeah, Cindy, look on the email that you got today from ldei.org, and attached to that are all the recipes. Okay, so Stephanie, can we just go ahead and proceed with part 2, which is the Bissap recipe, and this is what it looks like. It's a beautiful crimson red beverage, and this one is flavored with ginger, although you could flavor it with other things, cinnamon, cloves, or lemon and lime, and in that hibiscus resource, I also included some ideas for using hibiscus beverage as a mixer for cocktails. So Stephanie, whenever you're ready, let's just play the Bissap.
Okay, so we're going to start. Let's go ahead and start the Bissap. This is the drink, the sorrel drink that is traditionally made in Senegal, and we'll go ahead and do that because it does need to cool down, because we're going to be steeping it like a tea, and so let's go ahead and start that. So let's move the pot over. Okay. All right. Okay. So, so we've got a microplane, or we're just going to go ahead and grate the ginger. Okay. So, do you want?
How much do you want?
About half a cup.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And your trick, I thought, was ingenious. You keep this in the freezer?
Yes, I keep it in the freezer. What that does is it breaks down the fibers, and it's so much easier to grate. It actually comes out, it looks like it's grated, it's almost like a powder. So while she's grating ginger, I'm going to add, about a handful, no, actually, 2 handfuls of the sorrel. Okay.
And is that actually a hibiscus flower?
It is actually hibiscus flower.
Wow.
Yes, yes. You can see the individual flower petals. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. Yeah.
How long would that be good? I mean, if you forgot you had it for a year or so.
I've had some for a year that I'd forgotten. So I don't know. I really don't know. So
At least a year.
at least a year. That I know for sure. Okay. All right. And so all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add boiling water to a pitcher. Okay, and I want to get the full gallon, so I'm going to add some more water. Yeah, I think that's good. That's
Okay.
enough. All right.
Very fine.
Yes, very, very fine.
Okay.
That's lovely. And then we're just going to add this to the hibiscus. And then add about a cup of sugar. Now remember, we're going to be putting in some more water, so so we'll taste for sweetness. In Senegal, I think traditionally it's a very, very sweet drink. I don't like it quite as sweet, but you know, it's depending on your taste. And then also, you usually serve it just without ice. But this is America, and we like to serve things with ice. So I make it a little bit more concentrated and a little sweeter because the ice melts, and you know, and to accommodate that taste.
Hibiscus has a little bit of a tart flavor.
It does.
Too.
It does.
Okay, so-
And also, before the word hibiscus became popular, there's a drink that most Americans know that is actually hibiscus. Can you guess what that is? Red Kool-Aid.
I was going to say Kool-Aid.
Red Kool-Aid
Oh,
is
no.
hibiscus.
What?
It's hibiscus, yes. So
That explains a lot.
it does explain a lot. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Boy.
All right, so
How long does that need to steep?
it needs to steep for about 15, 20 minutes. And you know, and of course it needs to cool down. So I'm going to put this in the freezer so it could be ready for us to drink.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
We're back. And Marianne's back. So unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm having some technical difficulties here, so hopefully they're solved by now. So yeah. So does anyone have questions about the Bissap or the hibiscus tea?
Before we get to the hibiscus, there was a question right as we transitioned into the second recipe, and let's see where it was.
I can help you, Sheila.
Yeah, unmute yourself. It was Linda, right?
Yeah. I think I'm unmuted, am I?
Yeah, and go ahead.
Thank you. That's looks so good. The Thieboudienne. Thank you very much. I was curious about the flavor profile of the ground locust bean. I've never tried locust bean or seen it even.
Yes, so it goes by a couple of different names. Netetu is the Senegalese name. Dawa is another name that is used throughout the West Africa. I would compare it to, say, if the smell reminds me of like a savory chocolate. Okay. So chocolate with a bit of an earthy and almost a herbaceous smell. And the taste is just very umami forward. And I would really encourage people to seek that out as a spice, because it's amazing how many places you can put it. I've put it in spaghetti sauces, I've put it in gravies, and it's just once you understand and start using it, you'll wonder what you ever did without it.
One of those, huh?
Right.
And also the royal red stew. What size jars are those? Are those 16-ounce jars?
Yes, those are 16-ounce jars. And the interesting thing is that you know, the stews they're available in a lot of African grocery stores. However, the only ones I can find stocked in the shelves are the extra spicy. All right, and they are too spicy for me. But according to Helen, the owner, it's like Africans don't want anything except for the extra spicy. So to get the mild, which I usually use, I just buy it online. Yeah.
Got it. And what are the seasonings in that tomato sauce? I assume it's like a puree. It's a puree of tomato with some seasonings. What are the flavors that are added to it?
So there's onions, garlic. I'm really not sure what all the other ones are. I know she has a proprietary spice blend that she uses. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. I learned a lot, and I can't wait to make this.
Oh, right.
And I see Anita Lau asks, is the hibiscus the same as Jamaica in Mexican cuisine?
Yes, it's the same as Jamaica. It's also called sorrel in Jamaica. In the Caribbean, they call it sorrel. So it's from the hibiscus. It's actually not the flower, but you get the hibiscus plant.
the plant flowers, and once the flower dies, there's the leftover or the stamen is used and picked, and that's what we use for it's picked, dried, and then we use it as the hibiscus tea. Now, the hibiscus leaves, there's a there's a species of hibiscus leaves that we use in Congo to make the sorrel tea. All right, so it's been it's an ingredient and a flavor profile that is very, very popular throughout Africa and the Caribbean.
So if I remember, Marianne, you said that the hibiscus leaves have a tart flavor and they can be
Yes.
used as a vegetable.
Yes, absolutely. We use that as a vegetable and as for the juice. Now, it's interesting because the hibiscus leaves taste exactly and act exactly like French sorrel. Okay, so if you're familiar with French sorrel, that very lemony, very tart, sweet tart flavor profile, that is the exact same thing that that you use the sorrel leaves or hibiscus leaves for. It's the same, yeah. They're completely different species. But they taste the same, and so I think that's kind of how they got kind of cross-identified, or they call them the same thing, although they're completely different species.
Thank you. And so let's go on to dessert. Stephanie, whenever you're ready. This is called Ngalakh, right? Did I say it right?
Ngalakh.
Ngalakh, right.
Ngalakh.
And I didn't realize that there's such a thing as millet couscous.
Mhm.
And so I was going to try to replicate it at home, and I bought millet, but that's not the same as millet couscous. So don't make my mistake when you're ordering online. Okay, whenever you're ready, Stephanie.
I've been joined by Ida C. York, who is the niece of one of my oldest Senegalese friends. And she's basically here to keep me honest, okay? And because we're gonna make Ngalakh, which is a traditional Senegalese dessert, and that I've never made before. So, her aunt walked me through the process, but I was like, you know what? I don't trust myself, so let me just go ahead and recruit Ida. So, all right, so let's go over some ingredients. Sure. Okay. All right, so I've got some millet couscous. Now, this is very different from millet grains. So because the grains are ground into a powder and then mixed with water and then processed so that it really acts like couscous, okay? And you can find this online, okay? So, and we also have for this we have some boiling water, okay? And so this is about 2 cups. So I'm going to add about half of this. So it's going to be about a cup of, say, a cup and a half of the millet couscous. And then we're going to add boiling water. And tell me when to stop, Ida.
Sounds good. You want to cover it.
You want it just to cover it, okay?
That's perfect.
So it's just covered, so you can see that, okay?
Cover.
All right, and now we'll get, if I can find the end of this.
We can use a plate as well.
Let's use a plate to cover it. So basically, you just want to keep the heat in, all right? So, or a cover. There you go. There you go. A pot cover, and just so that it keeps. You just want to keep it hermetically sealed. Okay. Now that is one part of the dessert. There are 2 parts of this dessert, right? There's the couscous millet, but then there's also a sauce. Okay. Now, this sauce, let's go over the ingredients. This is baobab powder, okay? Now, understand that baobab powder comes from the baobab tree.
Yes.
And there's a fruit that grows on it that's like a seed that's covered with a powdery kind of a powdery fruit. And so that is that's ground and processed so that it turns into this powder. Okay. And then we have creamy peanut butter, not crunchy. Okay.
Creamy.
Because it's going to be a smooth sauce.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I have orange flower water. That's used in a lot of Middle Eastern and North African cooking, so it's a very distinctive taste. Okay? And then we also have some Nutella, vanilla sugar, nutmeg, and we're going to sprinkle a little coconut flakes on the top. And we're going to actually mix this with the craisins, okay? So, why don't you put in the amounts? Because I have no idea what the correct amounts are. So, here you
Sounds
go.
good.
Okay.
So let's say 2 tablespoons of baobab powder,
2 big spoons, right?
or
Okay.
2.5.
Okay. All right.
Should be good. Mm-hmm. And then you want to put some water, hot water,
This is boiling water.
boiling water, and just slowly whisk it so that it doesn't, it's nice and smooth.
Okay.
Keep going.
Keep going. Okay. Oh, it smells wonderful. It's like it smells lemony.
Lemon, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can stop for now, and then we'll probably add more water once we have peanut butter.
Okay.
But feel free to scoop,
All right.
let's say 2 tablespoons for now.
Two big serving spoons,
Serving
right?
spoons, yeah.
It's like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. And then you just want to keep whisking so that peanut butter keeps.
And that much again? So I would say this is about, 3/4 cup.
Let's add one more.
One more? Okay. About 1.25 cups. Okay.
So you just keep whisking,
Yeah.
just so that you get the creamy taste.
Nice.
So because of the peanut butter, now it's a little too thick, so we'll
Right.
probably add water.
Okay.
More water.
It looks beautiful. Smells great. More?
Sure, a little bit more, because you're gonna add the chocolate, and that's gonna make it thicker.
Okay.
So, yep. So now we have a more watery,
Okay.
thing, and feel free to add some chocolate now.
Okay.
So that's going to give it a color.
Okay.
So Ngalakh is a little bit brownish.
Okay.
So this is very light brown. So we want a darker brown.
All right. Great. Same quantity?
Yes, let's do 2.
Let's do 2.
now.
So there's 1 big spoon and another big spoon. Okay.
So you see now the color is
Oh yeah, it
changing.
looks beautiful. I mean, just think about it. It's just it's got this nice little acidic base of the baobab, and then you have that rich peanut butter, and then you have this hazelnut chocolate. Oh gosh, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so we're gonna just add a little bit more water.
A little bit more water.
Just
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Should be good. And that's the consistency you want. You don't
Okay.
want it to be too watery, but you want it to be like a sauce.
Okay.
And then now we can feel free to add more sugar, nutmeg, and
Okay.
the orange flower water.
So just so that we see, I'm just gonna put in a spoon and just so you can really see what consistency we're looking at. So it's like imagine a caramel sauce,
Exactly.
right? And that's the consistency you want, okay? Now, I'm going to add a little orange flower water. How much? Just a few drops,
just a few
right?
drops.
Right, because you need to really be careful with orange flower water. It can be very overpowering. So I'm really just going to put one. Whoa.
Yeah, it drops directly,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can just drop it in.
1, 2, 3 drops, and that's it. You just want a little hint. You don't want to overpower it. Okay. Now I have a packet of vanilla sugar, but you can also use just regular vanilla, right?
Yes.
So it's vanilla essence. Okay.
And we should probably taste for sugar.
All right.
And if it's not sweet enough, then you can add regular sugar.
Okay. Oh, it's sweet.
It's sweet.
It's sweet, yes. Mm-hmm.
Then the final step will just be adding the nutmeg.
Okay. And I'm just going to, let's just,
Yes.
how many, just a little shake?
A little more. More. One more. All right. Yeah, that's
That's about a quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Oh, it's delicious.
That's also it. Then now you can go back to look at your couscous.
Okay.
And you probably want a fork to
Yes, it's, all right, okay.
feel free to just.
So, oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
So it might not be all done.
Okay.
So we can sprinkle some water and then still put it in the microwave or
Okay.
so that this keeps cooking.
So what are we looking for here? We're looking for
the grain should be cooked inside.
cooked, okay.
Yes.
Oh, so I guess you want to taste it a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, here,
And it
take a
should
take a
be-
fork.
Soft.
Okay,
Yeah, it needs more water.
needs more water, okay. So we just a little bit of water, you just
sprinkle.
sprinkle.
Yep. A little bit more. Yep. And then
Okay,
you can just turn it and then put back in the microwave for say 45 seconds.
all right,
Fully covered.
fully covered, okay, all right, let's do that. All right, so this is a little bit, it's not completely cooked, so we put a little bit of water in it, and we're gonna put it into the microwave for about 45 seconds. So we put the millet couscous in the microwave for about 45 seconds because the grains were a little bit hard. So we just want them to be really soft, like couscous, all right? So let's go ahead and taste. Stir this up a little bit. And Ida, I'll let you do the honors.
Much better.
Better? Is that good? Does it need any more time?
That's good.
Okay, all right, perfect, okay. So now we can add the craisins. About 2 packets? Or 1?
2 is fine.
2, okay. Okay, whoops. All right, let's do that again. So let's add the crazy. You can edit that out, right? Okay. About 2 packets of craisins, and then let's stir that up. Anything else that goes in here?
No, that'll be all. I mean, sometimes if you would like, you can add butter just to make it more gooey, but
Oh, okay.
this is also totally fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so now it's time to assemble.
Yes.
Now this has been cooled down, and of course this was not even heated at all, so it's room temperature, okay? So let's go ahead and start building it. Now, traditionally, I think you said that we would serve this in bowls,
Yes.
you know, and we would actually mix it together, before you serve it, okay?
Yes.
All right, so, but we're gonna do another way of serving it. So we're gonna put them in little parfait cups. And so I guess we're gonna do first a layer of the couscous.
Yes.
You get that, and then I'm gonna do a layer of the sauce. I think, you know what? I think it would be better to actually pour it because it's pourable. And I've got a handy little spout. Okay, and then another layer of the couscous. And another layer of the sauce. Okay. And then we just top it off with coconut flakes. Just a little bit. And there we go. Just absolutely gorgeous.
It was very tasty, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It
first,
was my first time tasting it, and I just love the contrast of the kind of acidity, sweetness, and the richness, and, you know, with chocolate and peanut butter and acidity. And I've never had that that combination before, so I was so glad to get that recipe from my friend.
yeah, who would have thought that a lemony tartness would pair nicely with the creamy peanut flavor?
Right.
It
Right.
worked. It
Yeah.
worked. So I
Yeah.
recommend it. And you know, add millet couscous to your grain pantry. Any questions? Any questions? We're coming to the end of the hour. Thank you to Marianne Tshihamba, and thank you also for joining the DC regional chapter of Les Dames d'Escoffier just a couple weeks ago. This is a great way to engage with your people. We really appreciate your volunteering to teach this class.
Okay. Thank you.
And before we go, I'd like to share with you what's coming up in August. So on Monday, August 4th, please mark your calendar and register online for a session with Dame and Professor Psyche Williams-Forson, also a brand new Dame of the DC Regional Chapter, and Liz Williams, founder of the Southern Food and Beverage Museum, who will be sharing with us little-known stories about how African, European, and Native American foodways became reinterpreted as what we know as Southern cuisine today. You can register online via the ldei.org website. Also in August, the following Monday, August 11th, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 high-level managers from Hilton International, Catherine Kerr and her boss, Michelle Evans, will have a conversation about climbing the leadership ladder and how mentors can help. That's all for today. Thank you, as always, for joining us. I'm your host, Sheila Cry, saying so long for now and see you in August.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Pleasure.
feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions at all through the Dame or through my website. Thank you.